Hey, hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Pillow and this is where we break down movies so you don't have to waste 2 hours of your life on something that's not worth it. But today we might actually be recommending something. Now, before I get any further, I want to set the scene for you. It's late, you're scrolling through Netflix, you've passed the same 15 thumbnails 3 times. You're tired, you just want something fun, easy, and maybe a little romantic. That's exactly the lane When We First Met is playing in. So let's talk about it. When We First Met, movie overview. When We First Met is a 2018 Netflix original romantic comedy directed by Ari Sandel, who you might remember from The Duff. The film stars Adam Devine as Noah, Alexandra Daddario as Avery, and Shelley Hennig as Carrie. The premise is something we've seen pieces of before. Time travel meets unrequited love, but stick with me, because the way this movie executes it is actually kind of charming. Here's the setup. Noah meets Avery at a Halloween party 3 years before the events of the film. They have what feels like a magical night together, deep conversation, dancing, a real connection. But at the end of the night, she friend zones him hard. Fast forward 3 years, Avery is engaged to someone else. Noah is heartbroken and bitter. But then, and here's where the fun starts, Noah stumbles upon a mysterious photo booth that lets him travel back in time. Specifically, back to that Halloween night. And he becomes obsessed with one question. What if I said or did something different? Could I have ended up with Avery? So he keeps jumping back, tweaking things, trying different versions of himself. Different outcomes, over and over again. The good. Alright. Let's talk about what this movie actually gets right. And there are a few things worth highlighting. First, Adam Devine. Listen, Adam Devine is a comedic performer who has carved out a very specific niche. The lovable, slightly oblivious, big-hearted guy. And in When We First Met, he leans into that fully. His comedic timing is on point, and more importantly, you actually root for Noah. Even when he's making questionable decisions, even when he's being a little selfish, you're still in his corner. That's hard to pull off, and Devine does it naturally. Second, the concept is genuinely fun. The time loop romantic comedy formula isn't new, we've seen it in Groundhog Day, About Time, and others. But this film puts a specific emotional spin on it. It's not just about getting the girl. It's about self-discovery. Each timeline Noah visits reveals something new about who he is, who Avery is, and, crucially, what he actually needs versus what he thinks he wants. There's a moment midway through the film where Noah lands in a timeline that looks perfect on paper, and it's deeply uncomfortable. In a good way, the film is smarter than its Netflix rom-com packaging suggests. Third, the chemistry and friendship dynamics. Alexandra Daddario is charming, and her friendship with Shelley Hennig's character Carrie adds a layer of warmth that keeps the film grounded. It's not just a love story, it's also about the complexity of close friendships and the stories we tell ourselves about what we deserve. The not so good. Okay, now, I keep it real on this channel. So let's address the cracks in the foundation. The pacing in the second act drags. When Noah starts cycling through timelines, there's a stretch in the middle where the film loses momentum. You can feel the formula being worked through rather than unfolding naturally. If you're watching closely, you'll notice the structure becoming a little mechanical. Setup, jump back, reset. Setup, jump back, reset. It doesn't kill the movie, but it does mean there's a portion where you might check your phone. The emotional stakes feel a little low. And this is perhaps the biggest critique. For a film about time travel and second chances at love, the emotional weight is fairly light. Compare it to something like About Time, another time travel romance, and the difference in emotional depth is significant. When We First Met is content to stay in comfortable, breezy territory. Which, again, is fine for what it is, but it does limit how much the ending lands. And the resolution, without spoiling it, the ending will either feel genuinely earned or a little predictable depending on how closely you've been paying attention. For some viewers, it'll be a satisfying twist. For others, you'll see it coming from the second act. Comparisons and context. So where does this film sit in the wider romantic comedy landscape? Think of it this way. If crazy, stupid, Love is the premium steak dinner of rom-coms. When We First Met is a really solid burger. Well made, hits the spot, doesn't pretend to be more than it is. It slots comfortably alongside other Netflix rom-coms like The Kissing Booth and To All the Boys I've Loved Before, except it has a higher concept and a slightly sharper script than either of those. If you enjoy films like About Time, Just Friends, or 13 Going on 30, there's a very good chance this one clicks for you. It's the kind of film that works perfectly as a Friday night watch with snacks, a blanket, and no intention of analyzing it too deeply. Final verdict. So, When We First Met is not a masterpiece. It's not trying to be. But it is a genuinely entertaining, well-acted, concept-forward romantic comedy that punches slightly above its weight class for a Netflix original. Adam Devine carries the film with charm and authenticity. The time travel premise gives the story enough structure to stay interesting. And if you let yourself get invested in the characters, the emotional payoff, while modest, does land. My rating. I'm giving When We First Met a solid 6.8 out of 10. It's a feel-good watch. Flawed, a little formulaic in the middle, but ultimately warm, funny, and genuinely worth your evening. If you're a rom-com fan, add it to your watch list. If you're dragging a skeptic into a movie night, this is a safe, crowd-pleasing pick. And that's a wrap on today's review. If you've already seen When We First Met, I want to hear from you. Drop your rating in the comments below. Did the ending get you, or did you call it early? Let's talk. If you're new to the channel, welcome, hit that subscribe button. I post new reviews twice a week or when I feel like it, and I've got some big ones coming up that I think you're really going to enjoy. Until then, go watch something great. Or at least something decent. I'm Pillowcase Peace.